Chinese scientists create super stable building block for quantum computers. The biggest problem with quantum computers is their vulnerability. This attempts to address that. For those of you unaware, quantum computers are the next generation of supercomputers that are going to be coming out. They're far from being everyday uses. You're not going to see a quantum computer in your house for many, many, many decades at this point. They're founded upon principles of quantum physics, a complicated subject that directly contradicts normal laws of physics in our everyday reality. It's built on a lot of science from the works of Einstein and other people. But quantum computers, they take advantage of these quantum particles and what are called qubits. So anyone who's ever heard of Schrodinger's cat is actually familiar with quantum theory and don't even realize it. So Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment that says, hey, if you put a cat in a box with a sealed vial of poison and shut it, you can't hear anything coming out of it. You just know there's a cat with poison. Simultaneously, the cat is alive and dead because you don't know. The cat might have broken open the vial. The vial could also be triggered to release at a random point as well. That cat, for all intents and purposes, is alive and dead in superposition between two facts. And only by opening the box, by measuring the life of the cat, can we know if the cat is alive or dead, destroying the superposition. Same thing exists with particles. Particles are incredibly difficult at this level, at the quantum level, to nail down, whether or not they're orientated certain ways, spinning certain ways, where their position is. Heisenberg uncertainty principle comes in. It's so difficult to nail down where they're at. So when you don't know where they're at or what they're doing, where they're spinning, the way they're oriented, they're in superposition. They could be one or either things. Quantum computers take advantage of this by using quantum particles in these superposition states to record data, similar to how bits are in a traditional computer. A year ago or something like that, the Google Willow quantum chip smashes a classical supercomputer by 10 septillion years in test. So quantum computers are incredibly more advanced than supercomputers. This is just a little bit of a background on quantum computers. The Willow chip is one of the leading quantum computers out there. It's done some impressive things. Google says this Willow chip is able to complete a specific quantum task in 5 minutes that would take one of our fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years. It's a task created specifically for quantum computers, but it still shows what's possible. So this task that they presented this quantum computer with, and other quantum computers as well, is so intricate, so difficult, that the best non-quantum computers in existence right now would take 10 septillion years to accomplish. That's longer than the current lifespan of the universe, which is recorded at 13.8 billion years. This is a massive leap forward in computing power. The problem with quantum computers, unfortunately, though, is their instability. These qubits that make up quantum computers are incredibly sensitive. They can be affected by simple touch, by electromagnetic noise. Anything can make them decohere, which means their quantum lattices fall apart and the information is degraded. So they can exist in very controlled, very carefully controlled laboratory environments. They're far from being used in a home. Just existing in a home without protective shielding would make a quantum computer decohere and you'd lose everything on it. That's why we're still very far away from a quantum computer being a practical option for a lot of people. Even being used as servers or anything like that, they're still far away. We can't guarantee their stability. Until now, with this research coming from a Chinese scientist. Chinese physicist and his team have created a quantum Lego block that refuses to fall apart, even when shaken. I love the comparison to a Lego block with this, because as anyone knows, building Legos or even just building bricks, using small self-contained units working together creates a much stronger structure than a single entity. So a single slab stone wall is nowhere near as stable as a brick wall when done correctly, of course. And Legos are a perfect example of this. If you had one Lego standing up on its side, it's going to be blown, it's going to be easy to be toppled, and there's so much it could be vulnerable to, but it's a much stronger structure when you have these bricks working together. So, of course, just as a nerd as well, I love the comparison to a Lego block. But using a programmable quantum processor, Han's team has simulated an exotic new state of matter where quantum effects are locked into the corners of a material. According to a paper published in the peer-reviewed Science journal on Friday, these corner states are protected by the deep laws of topology, a kind of quantum armor against errors and noise. They're developing new states of matter, creating new matter to contain these quantum lattices and these qubits that make them far more stable and they're putting these matters into blocks that work together as a full quantum computer. This is an absolutely brilliant step forward in the realm of quantum computers, and one step closer to quantum computers becoming practical. A lot of people are concerned that this is a Chinese company versus a Western company, and this might see the rise in Eastern science getting far and more advanced than Western science. I'm just here for science. That's what I'm interested in, and I hope they share this technology with the world. Otherwise, it does become a problem, because the only way that we can advance as a species if we all lift each other. Rising seas lift all ships, but only if we allow it. This kind of matter, which does not exist in nature, could allow for quantum computers to operate correctly, even in the presence of error or noise, which is the current limitation of the machine complexity, owing to the sensitivity of quantum bits, qubits, the fundamental units of quantum information, also known as qubits, to their environment. So not only are these much more stable systems, they're able to operate with more error. In a normal quantum computer, if enough qubits decohere, the whole thing falls apart and the system no longer becomes stable and all data is lost. This is making that threshold of universal decoherence, pushing it back, making it so that the computers can handle more issues, can handle more noise and more errors. I think this whole situation is absolutely fascinating. I use quantum computers in my written work, specifically in Iris. In Iris, there's a quantum computer at the heart of Iris 3 that has an artificial personality put into it called Iris as well. So I've researched a lot of this, and this is the next step forward to make things like Iris aboard the Iris 3 possible. And this is just incredibly exciting. This is the future of technology. This is the future of computers. And we're one step closer to doing that because we're creating new states of matter. We're just a brilliant species. And this is great evidence to that.
There isn't time for an alternative.
Venturing out into the unknown doesn't have to be frightening.
To push the boundaries of the known with the never conceived of.
Today the world will remember who we are and never forget it.